chattanooga.com/walk.
Okay, we're going to give you something fun to plan to do either by yourself, with a friend, with the family, with visitors in town. The place to go is Ruby Falls. Jacqueline Lewis is here this morning, but she's brought with her Stephanie Hare, who is a historic preservation planner. Do I have that right?
Yes.
She said she has a lot of titles by her name. But Jacqueline, I think this is great because, of course, Ruby Falls has the lure,
Yes.
and it has for years.
Yeah.
But so do other parts of Chattanooga. So y'all enjoy teaming up and having kind of displays on site to educate people about things besides Ruby Falls. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We have a unique situation where we have people, not only locals, but folks from all over the world come and visit us. So it's this great opportunity to share not only our story with visitors, but other stories from the Chattanooga area.
So this go around, you have an exhibit focusing on the Big Nine.
Yes.
Many people don't really know what the Big Nine is. Once you learn though, Stephanie, you're hooked.
That was what happened with me, at least. So for those of you who don't know, the Big Nine is kind of the nickname that was given to the East and West 9th Street corridor that runs east-west here in town. And it was just such a vibrant hub of community life in all aspects, from schools and barbershops to club life at night and professional people as well, like doctors, lawyers.
And it was, as I'm knowing the story, very much a neighborhood.
Very much so. And a lot larger than just 9th Street as well. So we kind of have termed it like the Big Nine District or so, to try to encompass more of those areas.
Okay, so what you have now is this display going on at Ruby Falls. Is it simply like photography? Are there letters? Is there all different types of historical?
Yeah, there are all types of artifacts that Stephanie has collected, from photographs, newspaper clippings, historic maps of that, things of that nature. And then we have displayed them all on large panels that when you walk through, you really see all these artifacts and you can read the story alongside them.
You know, how interesting if you are visiting here in Chattanooga, or if you've newly moved to Chattanooga, because to walk that area of town now, you won't recognize it when you see these photographs.
Not necessarily. There are a few buildings that are still standing that are historic in nature, but you know, to even know what that building may have once held is a huge benefit to our visitors and locals alike. And yeah, if you look at the photos, you see what all we've lost as well. So it's a bittersweet, you know, sombering type of exhibit.
Where did you get the artifacts?
So I am also president of Chattanooga, which is a local nonprofit, and so that kind of started years ago with just collecting just digital scans of community members' photo albums and whatnot that they have tucked away, and they were all gracious enough to share copies or originals with us. And then through that collecting, you know, you start to see themes, you start to see names come up multiple times. And so I guess in 2020 now, I was really entranced by the name Horace Brazelton, who was Chattanooga's first portrait photographer, and was also a Black man and a leader in that community. And so through that avenue, if you will, I got into the Big Nine writ large, and it is just, you said earlier, you get hooked, and that is absolutely correct.
Yeah, his name again was what?
Horace Brazelton.
Okay.
Such a wonderful name.
Yeah. So, okay, and one of the interesting things in studying history, and challenging too, is that once you begin to study one piece of history and you're kind of embedded in, okay, this was happening in the Big Nine, for example, then you think about Ruby Falls, and something was happening at the same time at Ruby Falls, because you have your very own unique history.
That's true. Yes, we've been around for nearly 100 years, and that was one of the things that really attracted us to Stephanie's research, is that while we were opening this business and excavating this cavern and discovering this underground waterfall, there was this whole community on another side of town that was really building itself up and thriving.
Right, they're happening at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
So how long will the exhibit be there?
It's up till November 6th.
And it's free. You can just come to enjoy the beauty of the lobby there at Ruby Falls and come on in and see it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and you can take in the view while you're there. It's a beautiful drive for those who haven't made it already. It's really close to the south side. It's not a long, treacherous drive. And get a little bit of history while you're there.
What was your draw into history?
In general, oh goodness. I am an archaeologist by trade. So even then, unearthing an object that has been in the ground for hundreds, if not thousands of years was always very thrilling.
Yeah.
But I also had a very young son, so I couldn't travel the country digging holes everywhere. And so I kind of just translated that love into looking at history in a more broad sense.
So with this exhibit that you've created here, what timeline again are we looking at in the Big Nine?
So roughly speaking, through 1890s through to 1960.
Okay.
But you know, with some on the either end.
So I did a series of stories years ago on the oldest churches in town.
Yes.
And old for me meant that the current building had to predate 1900. So there were 4, and one of them was First Baptist on 8th, which would not be too far, really, from the Big Nine. So all of these churches, the war had ended, and they were all being built. Second Presbyterian, St. Paul, Saints Peter and Paul, First Baptist on 8th. I mean, there was so much happening in Chattanooga in the 1890s.
That's absolutely true. And First Baptist, I'm glad you brought it up. That was actually very close to being Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s church. But also it's just right down the street from Walden Hospital, which was the first hospital that was founded and ran by an African-American doctor who was also female on top of that.
This is why she says to you, once you begin to get into it, you're hooked.
Yes.
Things that you probably never even knew.
Absolutely.
That you will discover. So great to see you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the place to be is Ruby Falls. Always a fun outing for the family and for you, but now you can see the added fun in going, rubyfalls.com, and you do have to go on a tour of the cavern while you're there. It wouldn't be fair.
That's right.
West Yellowknife, over 40